Well, Brian, thanks for doing this first of all.
You're welcome.
I guess what we want to do today is basically talk about the rebrand project, obviously, but talk about also the relationship between Airbnb and DesignStudio through that process. And I don't think there's many better places we could do it than in this kind of room, this kind of like exhibition that you've built in the headquarters of Airbnb about the rebrand.
The brand that we had before we started working with you was always meant to be like really a temporary brand. Joe came up with this identity. It was this blue logo, and we didn't love it, but we said, oh, it's fine, it's good enough for now. And a few years later, we're still looking at this identity, and we realized that the business in the community didn't map to the brand, that the business in the community had outgrown the brand. Like, you can't get this wrong. This is our identity. Hopefully you do it once, and it's for 100 years. And so we needed somebody that we really loved.
When was that kind of moment that you realized that, I guess, that we were the people that were right fit for you?
Well, it's funny because before we met you, we met another creative partner. We went to their office, and I was just kind of really underwhelmed. You guys have tuned in via video conference, and Joe and Andrew are with you. And they're with you in what I thought was a house. And like, no, it's not a house, it's an actual office. You had rebuilt the listing. And one of the things we find is great people do great creative work, completely immerse themselves into the work. They're incredibly passionate. You guys had gotten so deep into the work, and you literally unlocked and inspired us about what was possible. And I remember halfway through the presentation, I was so blown away that I even texted Joe, I said, these are the guys. It was so clear that you got and you understood the heart and the soul of Airbnb.
We need to understand the brand. And we always do this thing at DesignStudio. I don't think there's any kind of value in pretending that you know about a company.
Right, exactly.
You kind of have to go in there saying, we don't know much about these guys, and let's listen to them.
Right.
So we practically moved into your offices for like 2.5 weeks.
Right.
We interviewed 50 members of your staff.
I couldn't believe it,
We interviewed kitchen staff, people on the design team.
Right.
We sent 4 of our guys to 18 countries in 1 week to kind of live as guests and visit other offices as well. How important do you think that we really understood the Airbnb culture was to the project?
I think there's always a huge risk of working with creative partners and external agencies. And the problem is this: they may be experts at design or branding, but we're experts at Airbnb. And it's why a lot of companies do things themselves, that they want it to be truly authentic. Because only you can be an expert of yourself. How in a couple weeks do you guys become us? You had to become us. And I almost liken it to becoming method actors. You literally became the characters. You became Airbnb, and you traveled the world. And I think it allowed you to unlock insights about us that we even didn't have about ourselves. And all of this completely came through in the work. You became complete experts in Airbnb. You immersed yourself, and then we weren't clients. We felt like we were part of the team. This could not be a marketing job. This had to be an entire company effort. And you think about some of the great marketing of our age. Apple's a perfect example. It wasn't a partnership between Lee Clow and Apple's CMO. It was Steve and Lee together creating great work. And I think that is a formula at the top, like a creative partner and the CEO working together. If those two people can work together, it's magic, and there's nothing that can rival that.
On the board, you can see there's like thousands of marks, thousands. Yes. And you know, as you're saying, each round we were getting nearer, but there was a moment, and I know that we've kind of talked about this. I'd love you to kind of explain what that moment was.
Well, this is the great thing about collaboration, is you were doing all this really great work, and we have so much of this work behind us, but there was a moment, and we said, what are we about? And what we're about is belonging. That is our mission, to live in a world where we belong anywhere. So what we need to do is be able to communicate that. And the simplest way to do that is to create a symbol, an icon, something that people all over the world can identify. In any culture, in any generation, when you see this symbol, when you see this icon, it represents belonging. Everything about what we do needs to blur the lines between our internal community, the employees, and the external community, what we call community. I think this symbol and this idea, the fact that I can proudly wear it as an employee, and the community can wear it, and we're all part of one. We wanted to give the brand to the community because the community is the product. They are the brand. We had to truly be a global idea, a world we live as one. And the reason this icon was so brilliant, it was as an icon. It wasn't a word mark in English that felt American. We wanted something that transcended language, transcended culture, transcended geography, and it had to be equally identifiable in every culture, but unique to each culture. And I think there was a great universal sensibility to it. You created color palettes that represented geographies around the world, but you created a consistency where any culture could identify with it.
And what does this brand now enable you to do? What can you do with this that you probably couldn't with the last one?
I showed this brand to Jonathan Ive, who's a friend of ours, one of the best designers in the world. He looks at me and he says, now you can go anywhere. We've kind of highlighted the importance of design, the importance of branding, the importance of marketing and storytelling. and we've connected it with technology. We used to live in two worlds, and you know, Silicon Valley is rooted in like chip makers, and they think it's all about the technology, and it's like speeds and feeds. And people don't buy that, they buy ideas.